Hello, hello, hello. We are live. This is Pop Up Live. I am Jen Rose, your host, and I am very happy to be here today. If you are watching live, please feel free to type in the comments, chat with us because we love that. This is a very interactive show, as you guys know, if you've watched me the last few weeks. Also, welcome to those of you who are going to watch this later, either on Facebook or YouTube. I haven't forgotten about you guys either. So please feel free to say hello and join us. So we've got a really good show today, but I'm going to start though by talking about a couple of things that I have coming up in the very near future. Radiant energy. This is a class I teach about auras. Hi, Tammy. Yay. Hi, honey. This is a class I teach about auras. I had originally planned to have it on the 22nd, this coming Saturday. It has now been pushed back to March 1st. Tickets are still available on Eventbrite. It is a 3-hour class where we are going to talk about the auric field. Hey, Brittany, honey, how are you? We'll talk about the auric field. We're going to talk about the different colors that can appear in the aura. And then I'm going to take you through some exercises so you can learn to see auras for yourself. So it should be good. And then March, I want to say 14th. I believe it is the 14th, but I'm going to double check my calendar. And I do apologize because I sound like a frog today. I have COVID. I found out I have COVID. So, good, Brittany. And I don't have much of a voice. I've been saving it for this particular broadcast. But when my guest comes up, and I'm going to talk about her in a moment, I'm going to let her do a lot of the talking. All right. So the 14th, March 14th, I am doing what's called a small group gallery reading. It is limited to 6 people total. And that way, it's an intimate setting, and you are guaranteed to receive a reading. It will be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Tickets are available now, also on Eventbrite, and I'll put some links in the chat. Hey, Tina. Hi, honey. Thanks for coming today. I'll put some links in the chat a little later and remind you guys at the end of the show. But those are just some cool things that, I've got coming up. And obviously, I am available for appointments if you want to book. So please feel free to do so. But that's not what this is about. This is about having fun. It's about talking to you guys about the topics that interest us. Hey, Anna. Hi. And also highlighting guests that I occasionally have on the show. And today I have a guest for us. I am really thrilled to bring up Danielle Nice, the Nice Medium. Danielle comes to us from Florida. She is a very popular, very successful medium there. And we are going to have a chat. We're going to get to know Danielle, and we're going to have a great time today. If you've got questions, comments, you know what to do. All right. So without further ado, let's welcome Danielle Nice.
Hi, everyone. Yay.
Hi, Danielle. Thank you for joining me today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm excited to get you on. And I really want to give you the platform, so to speak, so that folks can get to know you. But I know you. Oh, hey, hold on. There we go. Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
I got to know you a little bit through a class we took together with Colby Rebel. So, but I'm excited to have you on today, and I was really excited for the topic that you wanted to talk about, which
Oh,
is being awake in a sleepy world. And I
this is,
thought that was an amazing topic.
yes.
So I am going to let you introduce yourself to the audience. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do and where they can find you. Although I am going to put up a banner that says, look at
Oh, that's so cool.
that.
I just find this fascinating.
I know, isn't it great? Isn't it great? All right. So Danielle, tell us a little bit about who you are and how you came to be a
Mhm.
medium.
Well, first of all, my name is Danielle Nice, and I'm a psychic medium and spiritual teacher. And I hail from Florida, which is, I'm outside of Tampa in a little town called Dunedin, which is north of Clearwater, if you want to look it up on the map. And my journey began as early as far as I remember, of being sensitive, you know. Nice to meet you, Tammy. um, but growing up in a world, like we said, in a sleeper world, I didn't know that I was, quote unquote, have the ability to do what I can do until much later on in life.
Right.
Um, so I sat in development for a very long time, getting to know myself and understanding my gifts. And that's where I would like to talk about being asleep in this world when you're awakened to understanding more. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so,
Mm-hmm. So, and I know that you studied with Mavis.
yes, I
Yeah.
love Mavis.
And you mentioned that you spent a long time in development. How long were you in development?
It feels like forever, honestly.
It always does, doesn't it?
It was a couple years until Mavis said, "You're being kicked out of the nest. You need to go do readings." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." You know, so I
Mhm,
studied with Mavis for about 4 years. She
mhm,
came to the villages here, and so I would take her week-long classes, and then I got into the platform classes, and then I took her. Then she went over to England, where she lived. And then I took her year-long, um, what do you call that? Online classes.
mhm.
So
Yeah, yeah.
studied with Jean and Mavis, and then that was it. So
That's
and then I
awesome.
just okay. So for the past 7 years, I be more doing the private, not private readings, but being in a shop setting, doing readings for the clients, building up my clientele. So I went pro, I guess you would say professional, because you get paid for it. About 7, 8 years ago, it feels like 2018, April 2018. So that would be what now, 7 years?
Okay. All right. So you've been doing this for a while now, which is pretty awesome. And when I was thinking about the topic last night, I was scrolling through my Facebook and a quote popped up because you know how we get all of these memes
Yeah.
and quotes and spiritual, but it was about awakening. And it struck me, and I want to read it to you because I think it's a good point to get us started on this topic. But it says a spiritual awakening is not usually pleasant. Often it feels like confusion, frustration, anger, sadness, grief, or being out of place. This can be uncomfortable and challenging because it's an intense time of personal growth. But despite how difficult it may feel, you're not going crazy. You're evolving and awakening.
That is a perfect segue into what the topic is today.
Yes,
Absolutely, yes.
yes, yes.
And
And
it's
I
not for
know
the faint of heart.
spirit
So
sent
if
it
you
to
think
me.
it's, yeah, if you think it's all rainbows and unicorns and, all of that, it's not. It's really deep diving into your soul to really unprogram what was programmed during our time as growing up, to understand that you literally are a spiritual being living in a human body. 100% hands down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think we all go through whatever avenue it is that brought us to that point. But normally it's, a lot of us had abilities as children. We didn't know what they were. Um, yeah, Tammy's like so true. Yeah. We didn't know what they were, so we'd shut them down. But then later in life, I know with me, they started to resurface after I'd gone through some pretty traumatic events. What was it like for you? When did you first begin to realize something's not quite right?
When people start looking at me with,
I'm
like I
sorry,
had some
Tyler.
bits on, or I had, stuff on my face, and I'm like, what did I say? Because you don't realize what you're saying. You just open your mouth and just say it. But being born sensitive into a family that didn't understand it, that didn't practice it, that didn't, but I was born, I want to just say, more in a church atmosphere. So I went to Sunday school every Sunday and was in the youth group and, did all that. Yes, I believe. Trust me, I do. I work with them. How's that? But to be spiritually awakening, to go, oh, I have extra things that are going on. Like I can feel things that normally are not there. The other side. We had imaginary friends. I had ghost cats that would come up on my bed and curl up with me. And I'm like, is that my cat or is that somebody else's cat? Knowing full well my door was closed and there was no cat in there. To understanding, knowing that things were happening before they happened. And I would say it, and then they're like, how did you possibly know that? So these were just my childhood. And then came about the 1997, when I was given a book by James. It was from James Redfield's Celestial Prophecies, where they were saying you actually are enlightening yourself, synchronicities, all of that were coming up. So then I got really into reading, and then Sylvia Brown came on Montel. And I'm like, how could she possibly know that person had thyroid cancer or what was going on with that? So I found it fascinating. And I just kept gravitating to anything that was metaphysical. And during the time of growing up in the 80s, 90s, we didn't have this platform. We didn't have metaphysical stores that had crystals or tarot cards or any of that stuff. So just to just evolve and just going with the flow. And then it's like, okay, I know I'm different. And I kept hearing, you need to go find a teacher. Go find a teacher. I'm like, where am I going to go find a teacher at? Seriously. And when you ask, the teacher shows up. So, yeah. And then you sat in development going, oh, wow, I really can hone what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing. And then you become practicing.
I remember when I went to my first class, and I read a ton of books about what was happening and what this was and mediumship. But I went to my first class, and I think I kind of thought that there I was going to realize that this was all my imagination. Hey, Tom, welcome. And Tammy said she watched Sylvia, read her book then too. So yeah, my mom was a big Sylvia fan. So was I. So, but but what I was saying is that, I think that I really thought that I was going to find out, okay, I'm full of it. It's just my imagination. And I was really shocked when it wasn't. I don't know how you felt, but I was shocked.
Oh, wait, I can actually, read somebody else. And then it's like, how am I doing it? Well, you just are doing it because that's it. Yeah. I just remember standing in one of the classes, they make you stand up and deliver whatever is going on. and everything was just so stuck in my head that they could see it, but I could not compute it to my vocals to get it out. So that I'm like, I know it's there, but how can I open that up? So that was couple of my first classes going, oh my gosh, you want me to do what?
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, I mean, at the same time, we have our abilities are growing and we're working on that. We're also awakening and realizing that everything is so much deeper than we were ever taught. And
Oh, yes.
that I know how I did with that. I want to hear how you did with that realization and that, oh my God.
Well, I want to take you back to what you first said. I mean, spiritual awakening is not the faint of heart. You literally have to go back, like I said, and unprogram what was programmed without even knowing that you're doing it. And a lot of people call it the shadow self, going back and opening up those boxes that you have hidden that you don't want to face, and a lot of people, and that's why a lot of people are asleep or turn away from it, of doing self work. And when you do walk the path, you feel like there's nobody around you at all. Like you're literally walking the path alone, but you're not. You have your team with you. And by I say team, in the beginning, you didn't know. I just remember my guide standing there. I was like, okay, I know I have a guide. My guide is there. I can feel my guide, and you learn who your guide is during development. But I said, I need you to stand here and put your hand on my shoulder. Then I'm okay. Once I know that hand goes on my shoulder, and of course you don't know that anybody's there, but you can definitely feel it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, so then I have the hand there going, okay, I'm fine. And then it was just natural. It just felt natural. You just stepped into it. But in the beginning, yeah. And I'm still going through it. And I don't know if you are. I mean, because honestly, I went through what you're just going through, but I did not have COVID. I called it the fog. I was literally lost in the fog and I was brought down to my lowest. And they're like, you still need to go clean out your attic and your basement. So please go back in and unbox those boxes. And what I'm talking about is doing the dark shadow work, letting go of what no longer you need. So I had for the last, I want to say a month ago, that's what I was doing. And I'm just like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. But they're like, you have to grow through this in order to become more. And by doing that is you're becoming more of who you are as a soul. You're becoming more of who you are as just a being living in a human body. You are not being programmed by the outside. I honestly, I don't know if you, but I don't watch the news. I can't. That's not my problem.
I know enough.
Yeah.
But if I sit and watch, and I used to be, you changed because I was like a news hound. I really was. I was my father's daughter. He was a big, news guy. And I watched the news. I cannot anymore because I can't take all of that in.
Yeah. And the more that you become who you are as a psychic, medium, spiritual person, you become more sensitive to it. Things you have to filter out of your life. So just, enough to go, okay, that's what's going on with the collective energy, but I still need to understand who I am. And that's the whole part of developing. I need to know who I am. And that's what I teach my students. If you don't know who you are, then how are you going to go out there and read for somebody else?
Exactly.
So start back, and it's not like, oh, boom, I took a development class and now I'm a reader. No.
Oh, but there are plenty of those.
Much more.
Tammy, I believe, has a question. Oh, with family, did you have the additional task of feeling alone and feeling like you have to convince your family? You're saying, yeah, I had that.
I don't think they fully understand what we do. They know enough now because, but they no. And I don't feel like I needed to convince them, because here's the thing. When somebody is asleep or doesn't understand, you can't really, it's like talking to a brick wall. And the more that you talk, it's like you're wasting your energy. So I just go, you know what? I'm going to be who I'm supposed to be, because I'm not meant to fit into this world. I'm meant to change this world. And the ones that, like you, Jen, and Tammy and all that, we're light walkers. We're light workers. We're here to enlighten, lift up, become more of the frequency that already exists. I know I'm getting a little bit.
No, and that's no, but this is the stuff we should be talking about, because with mediumship development, you get a lot of folks going into those classes that have no idea everything else that they are now open to.
So, it's a whole world.
An entire world. But and Tammy's like, they don't understand, but at least accept now. Yeah. I'm married to a skeptic.
Oh, okay.
And he is very supportive and very accepting of what I do.
That's good.
But he doesn't understand it. And that's hard sometimes, because you want to tell somebody how your day went. And then if you've had like a really incredible reading, or one that maybe was like a gut punch kind of thing, you want to be able to talk a little bit about it. And he doesn't quite get that. But these are some of the things that when we are awakened, we face. And we may face that within our own families. So.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So you can talk about the weather all you want, but let me tell you what's really happening out there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Have you ever come into your house, and being a medium, and I walk into my house and I'm like, I don't see them, I feel them, I smell them, I know that they're there until I connect in, then that's when I see them. But every time I walk into my house, there's somebody different on the couch. And I'm like, oh, who are you? You ever go that way? So when you walk into everybody else's house, you're like, wow, you got a lot of family here. I'm sorry. It's just.
Yeah. Tina and Brittany, thank you both for your comments, because I know that it's hard with families to get it. But I get those passerbys here all the time too. And it's just like, how you doing?
Yeah. And you can't say, hey, look. Well, no, you can't see them. But hey, there was somebody that just passed by.
Yeah. Or, hey, I was just having a conversation with someone. I told them to come back later. So
I feel honestly that through osmosis, because your energies are tightly wound, he's going to understand a little bit more faster than the normal person. I do that. And he's going to be like, what? But yeah, growing up in a family that was close, because back then, this, again, I'm going to go back. We didn't have this ability, talked about until the Sylvia Browns, the James Von Prague, and then medium Ashley, Alison DeBrois, those shows came up on TV in the 90s, and you're like, oh. And then Sixth Sense really cracked it open. I see that, people. Come on.
Boomer has a question.
Yes.
So, do either of you have other relatives or maybe an ancestor that had gifts?
In the immediate family, yes, on my mom's side. My mom's gifted without knowing that she is. My brother and sister are both gifted without working on it. I was told that I come from a line on both sides. They're saying on my mom's side, definitely through my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
And then So, and I call it the old country because, this is newer, but yes,
Yeah.
definitely at the old country.
Yes.
No, nobody immediate that practices it. No.
No. I mean, my mom and my grandma both had gifts, but they didn't talk about them. And they recognized in me when I started having experiences, but it was, again, we don't talk about that to a wide audience. You can talk to mom, you can talk to grandma, but that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I know that, and both my children have gifts, and my older brother has some gifts. So.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
My daughter has gifts and she's just coming into them, and I find it fascinating.
It is fascinating. It's really fascinating when, like, my daughter doesn't want anything to do with her gifts at all. Nothing.
No. But that's okay, because they have a different purpose and a different path, and maybe someday that they'll understand more.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, no, and I mean, my daughter is definitely on a different path right now. So I think at some point they're going to catch up with her at some point, but not right now. But I just find it interesting, and my son is like all about it.
Hey.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But you had mentioned, so you are a spiritual teacher as well as a medium. So you work with students.
Yes.
What do you find is your biggest challenge in working with beginning students? Because I've always wanted to ask somebody this who's worked with beginners.
Beginners are awesome. Just let me, because like you can just see the potential in them, and when there's like, oh look, fresh blood, newbies, yay! But you can actually, how can I say, opening them up and seeing their potential and seeing how they grow and what their potential. It's so fascinating. Everybody is different. Every student that comes to me is, either has the mediumship gift or they just want to be more intuitive and understanding because they're in the health field or they're in this field of going, hey, I'm experiencing this. How can I either, so they're learning the basics that we did back when we first developed. And it's just like, and I have to go back and remember, yes, okay, we once sat in that chair and we once went through what they're going through, and they're receiving so much things. And it's just like, all right, but I'm going to take you a next step further and go, you know what? I'm going to teach you to understand who you are first. Don't listen to the outside critics. So by getting a beginner in class is just teaching them the way that, I'm going to quote a lot of quotes. The way is the way. You need to begin somewhere. And as they step into their power, it's so fascinating to watch.
And that is the thing. They do have to begin somewhere, but doing all of that work that comes along with it, all of that internal work, is so important. And not a lot of mediumship teachers really focus on that. So I love that you are doing that. I really do.
Starting with the basics of going back to a psychic development class, meaning to understand your basics with the clairs, the feeling, I feel this, the understanding, the knowing, and then the seeing, and just bringing them back to the basics and go, okay, we're going to keep spoon feeding you in order for you to then step into more of the mediums. I remember I have a couple of students that wanted to take my mediumship class. I looked at them and I said, you're not ready. You're not ready just yet. So give it a couple more months of you understanding your development, of understanding who you are. And then once I go, yep, you're ready, get in there. Because it's a whole nother ballgame. Mediumship is a whole nother ballgame. Understanding yourself, in order for you to read for a spirit that's not there, like you can't, who's there? And then you open up to a whole world that's outside. Like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then you can see that, it's like just the aha moments, the sparks coming in. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm off topic.
I mean, so hang on, because Tammy, knowing themselves and also putting proper protection in place is incredibly important, which it absolutely is. And really, the knowing yourself, understanding who you are, also understanding the things that may trigger you or are tucked away. You have to be able to deal with those things because they're going to pop up in your mediumship.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna pop up there, and if you're not prepared for that, that can be a problem. Also, do you want to be a well-rounded medium? I'm like, or do you just want to read sweet little old grandmas all day? So
that's another thing is, don't tell me that I have a grandma. Don't tell me I have a grandma here and that she loves you very much. No, tell me that I have a grandmother here on my mother's side that, A, B, and C. I want to know evidence. And that's how I was taught. Evidential mediumship, of knowing that you actually do physically have your grandmother here or your grandfather here or your, your aunt. And then going through that. And when they do, and they get a hold of you, you know what I'm talking about. It's just so awesome. The energy that comes through. It's chilling. And it's like the things that they tell you. And I'm like, oh, they're telling you your family secrets. Wow.
Yeah.
They love to talk. And then it's just.
Exactly. But it's when you get those nuggets and you can just feel that energy. I mean, it's an amazing thing. Yeah. So if everything was just grandma who loved you very much and liked to bake cookies on Sunday, I wouldn't be doing this.
Okay, great. No, but it definitely is the understanding that we don't stop existing. That they're showing us that there is life after death. Exactly. And this is not the end of the world, because you exist, you always will exist, and you haven't stopped existing. You're just in a different phase of development of your soul's path.
Mm-hmm. But it's about the continuity of life.
Yeah. And once you understand that and you wrap your head around it, because ego is so strong, and that's where a lot of people are asleep, because they're still feeding into the ego side of it. But becoming more part of the heart, and then understanding the heart, and then cleaning up the attic space, the basement space, unboxing that stuff that you really need to let go of. Well, he hurt me during this. I don't care if he hurts you. Let it go. It doesn't, it doesn't do you any good to keep lowering that vibration down. Let it go and then move on up,
and it's a constant work in progress. With all
Absolutely.
of us. With all of us. I actually went back just a couple weeks ago to my own shadow work, because there are some areas that I have been shown that I need to revisit to completely clear out. And that's going to happen, because what I tell people when I work with them, and I preach shadow work big time, is that you're going to think you're totally cool and I'm all done. And then something's going to slap you upside the head. And you're like, I thought I dealt with that.
No. You might have dealt with it on a different level, but let's go. You still have the physical, mental, emotional part that still needs to go. Oh, your body's still holding on to this. No. Mm-hmm. And I always say, and things are not linear. Things are a spiral. So yes, you might feel like at that one point in stage of your life, you did address what needed to be addressed in order for you to move on. Mm-hmm. But then it's coming back around, and then you're at a different tier, and you still need to address it. Again, I just went through that a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, what's next? Oh my gosh, is this ever going to end? And then it's like, nope, here I am. And you're a lot stronger. You're a lot brighter. You're more aware, so from the time that we sat in development, which I want to say for me to find the teacher was about 2015 of when I sat in a development group for the first time, understanding, honing my gifts, to now 10 years later, whole different ballgame. It's like, if I can go back and tell that student that was sitting in the chair going, you want me to stand up there and do what? So it's going to be okay. And it was, because you have the power, you have the gift, and you have the ancestry, the group, the spirit team, all behind you, rooting you on.
Yeah. And plus, there are a lot of other people out there just like you. You just have to find them. But you will find people who understand where you are and who get it. And that's the important thing, is that there is a community out there for you, even when you feel like there isn't anybody else who is possibly going through this. I guarantee you there is. So.
Oh yeah, you'll find your vibe, you'll find your tribe, but you do have to walk alone for a little bit. Lose the people that don't need to be in your life. Let them go. Right. And then once you do walk through that, grow through that, then you'll meet the other people that are on your path.
Right.
I take a quote from Ram Dass. We're all just walking each other home.
Yeah.
So I'm on the path with you. We're in the same boat. Not same boat, but similar boat, same path. So. Not forgotten.
Yeah, it is true. It's true. So, what are we all have our things that we really enjoy doing. I like working with students too, but I like doing podcasts, things like that. So what else is out there? Is it just working with the students and working with your clients, or is there something else you want to be doing with your mediumship?
Good question, because I just feel like I'm right now in a holding pattern.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm doing what I need to be doing. I love doing readings. 2 years ago, when I left the shop arena, I should say, and then went private, I did everything on the phone and then also on Zoom. And now it's like, no, I want to get back and do in-person readings. So,
right.
Because I love the energy of in-person, but it's all the same energy. But again, right now, I just feel like a whole pattern. And it's the worst thing ever. I don't know if you're feeling it.
I know, I think a lot of us are kind of feeling that holding pattern. And I know other mediums that I'm friends with and that I talk to, we all kind of felt that shift at the end of last year.
Oh, yeah.
I think we all have our own theories about what that energetic shift is. But we all felt that, and then we're kind of like, okay, now what? Now what? Now what?
Right. It's like, what's going to happen? Oh, I can go down a lot of different rabbit holes, but you know what?
I know, me too. Tammy has a question. Do you find that once you have that major awakening, many others will follow on a smaller scale? Each step of growth contributes to the next epiphany. In other words, awakening continue past the initial. Yep, absolutely. I will let you answer that.
So the question is more of when you continue to walk in a spiritual.
Mm-hmm. Do you continue to awaken and awaken?
Oh yeah. I mean, even when I took classes for Mavis, she's like, she was in the arena for 15 plus years. And she's just like, I'm still learning every day. And I'm like, that's so fascinating.
Well, all of the really good mentors, that's the first thing that comes out of their mouth. I'm still learning. Yep.
Because if you weren't learning, you wouldn't be here. You'd be perfect. You'd be back in the God's head. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tammy's like, we're waiting for the next shift.
Exactly. And that's exactly it. It's like, okay, so you've done everything up until this point. But I feel like right now is just patience. Just continue to do your meditations, taking care of yourself, listening to yourself during this time frame. Don't be going down that slide. Just continue to walk the walk. And then showing up for yourself. Yeah. That's the whole thing. And you're holding space. Wherever you go, people are going to look at you differently. That's my whole entire life for 50 plus years, if you want to say.
Me too. Yeah,
and I'm like, and you get used to it because you have to have a thick shell in this world.
Yeah,
I'm very sensitive. Of course I'm going to cry at the drop of a hat. Good God, you're looking at me like I have dragons coming out of my head. I don't know. I know. But by going through this, I feel like something major is happening out there that we are being prepared for. But we're just going, okay, you're here at this stage. The door hasn't opened yet. We're behind the scenes still working on the stuff. And then once the door is open, it's go time, go time, go time. Yeah. And I remember hearing that about 5 years ago before COVID hit. I'm like, once it's a mass awakening. And I kept feeling there's so much people are going from being asleep to being awakened. And now we're in the thick of people awakening in this world that, how can I say? It's just like, where do they start? Who do they follow? Who do they listen to? It's like going back in and understanding.
So Boomer has a question. I'll let you answer that first. Because I
wish I never had this.
You said to yourself, I wish I never had this. He explains a little more, but go ahead.
Well, let's just say dating is fun. How's that? because you can actually, I don't know. Can we just stop that?
Yeah.
That's why I'm still single, people. Come on. That's when you wish you didn't have this stuff. And my face is turning bright red. But yeah, no, I wouldn't know any other way, honestly, except for that. When you walk into a room, you instantly are reading the room without even knowing you're reading the room.
Of course you are. You're reading every situation, and Tammy's laughing. But
so true though, right?
It's true. It's true because you are constantly. We're never totally turned off. We can.
Like right now, I just had somebody step forward and just laughing in my ear, and I'm like, seriously, it's so true.
We are never ever turned off, which is weird.
You can protect yourself 100%. You definitely need to protect yourself. And that's where I'm going to go back to the beginners. Is I teach them this world is so low vibe that you need to close down your chakras. And what that means is just closing off to the outside world of feeling, knowing, hearing, seeing them, but then closing, bubbling up. So I always imagine like, okay, Glinda the Good Witch coming down in that bubble. Imagine yourself in that bubble.
Right.
And then just making sure that is safe, calling upon your team, your angels, whoever you want to make you feel safe. And then just keep feeling safe. And that's all about that. So I got off topic. I'm sorry.
But, that's okay. No, you're fine. Because, I mean, there's so much that I'm going to have you back because there's a ton of stuff that we can talk about. But, yeah, I mean, it's understanding. And I think when people start to first develop, they get so excited about what they can do that they don't think about, okay, you've got to protect that now. You have to protect
100%. And that's the first key of anything. We're going to open you up in a safe spot, in a safe environment. And then before you leave me, I want to make sure that you are closed down so you're not feeling everybody's energy out there because it is so overwhelming. We get burnt down and bogged down. You come home and you're like crawling through the door going, oh my God, I forgot to close up. And then you find yourself on the couch and the couch sucks you in and you just like can't get out of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because when you have that energetic crash.
Yes.
It's bad.
It's bad.
It's so bad.
And we all know when it's like, I used to, back in the day, I used to say yes to a lot of things just to experience it. Yes, I'll do a 3-hour long massive reading,
Yes.
you know, for how many people coming through. Sure, I'm going to do that just to experience it. But yeah, and then you're walking like you're a freaking 150-year-old woman walking out there going, where's the tree? I need to go ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean, I've actually, it's funny you say that because I am changing how I'm doing some things this year because I was like, yeah, let's do the fairs, let's do the fairs, let's do the fair.
Mm.
No, that's a lot.
Hey, as long as you did it and you experience it and you know that's not for me, great, that's not for you. It could be for other people. Awesome. Because we all read differently. We all want to do different things just to help the people out there. And yeah, so.
Yep, but it does. And you have to realize that this isn't a race to
No.
see, how far you can get, how quickly, oh, I've been developing for 5 years and I've done this, and my book's coming out or something.
Good for you. That's awesome. Yay.
Yeah, that's awesome. But it's not a race. It's not a race.
No, it's not a race. And I was taught through Mavis and through Susan Giesman and all them that we are all part of the team. We are mediums, and we all help each other out. And if you're not a mediums, you're working through the ego. So coming back to helping, I mean, just like being Jen, I'm so proud of you. How far you've come since I've known you, it's like, I actually get to talk to you. I'm so super excited. Trust me. I'm still giddy. But anyways, to see how far you've come within just a short amount of time working with Kobe and being in her business class. And I'm like, look at you, girl, you're on fire. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Keep doing it. And then I'm like, wait, she's doing a podcast? Really?
But the thing is that I'm doing what, okay, yeah, that piece that fits. I talk to my team and I'm like, okay, that fits. And the stuff with Colby, that was pure synchronicity. The timing was absolutely right with that.
Yes.
So
with me as well.
I have always been, I want to be your cheerleader. I want to celebrate what you're doing because nobody else does it, because they're not you.
That's right. And everybody has a unique voice in this world,
And I want to bring up baby mediums that way too. So, to do that, because we're like any other field, is that there are professional jealousies and rivalries pop up.
Yeah,
but
no.
this is
get the green dragon off your back, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a mediumship class tonight, and I teach it. Right now, I'm only doing it once a month, so it's a one-off class. But I'm opening it up to beginners, and definitely have a beginner in there who I'm just like, yes. We're taking you back to the beginning. That's awesome. And then just understanding who you have next to you and going through the tree. I call it the family tree. I don't know how did you worked with Joseph Seal, right?
Yeah, I've done some work with Joe Shield. I've been doing his advanced class, but I have worked with Cindy Keza extensively and a number of other.
That's
Natalie Lucia, who was one of Mavis's students. So yeah.
So you were taught with the mother side, the father side, the tree, getting that, and then just within the first couple of things, in the first 30 seconds, you should actually understand who you have standing next to you. So going back and teaching the beginners, going, okay, because I can see that I know who you have next to you, and they're so fun. The spirits are so polite when they get the little babies in there, and I'm like, no, did you hear that? Did you see that? Did you know that? So I just find it fascinating, and yeah. So by taking the little tender hearts and then going, we're gonna make you walk, and then we're gonna learn how to spoon feed you, and then you're gonna eat steak. Oh, trust me, I have students that have sat with me for a good solid now 4 or 5 years, and just seeing them explode onto the screen, I'm like, good for you. Now go out there.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm pushing them out there. They're like, no, I like the nest. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, you're meant to do this, so let's go do it, because what you're doing, I call it the ripple effect. I'm helping you so you can go out there and reach the masses that you can help, and then so on and so forth. Because what's happening on a major collective level is we are going through a mass awakening. We are no longer asleep. We're no longer you can't fit me back into that box, because I don't fit there anymore. I never have. So I'm here to teach you to understand that you're here to make a difference with your unique voice. You're going to make that difference, and you're going to help society. You're going to help yourself moving forward, however that looks. Do you need to be rich and being like Teresa Caputo and all that? If that's where you're meant to be, go do it. Yeah, but I feel like you can do it on a small scale too, just helping out, your neighbors and all that.
Right.
Just being. So
that's just fascinating. Do you. Go do you. And
go do you. That's right.
Go do you. And be happy with it. But that's awesome. So tell us what you've got coming up as far as classes, events, things like that. Plug away.
Oh, yay. Well, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram under The Nice Medium. My website is also thenicemedium.com. So I'm The Nice Medium all the way through.
I'm going to put that in the chat.
Yeah. So tonight is my mediumship class. Is open up to all levels. It's 2 hours on Zoom. I am on Eastern time. Again, I'm in Florida. And coming up in a couple weeks on Sunday, March 2nd, if you are in the Tampa Bay area or Pinellas County in Florida, I'm doing an in-person workshop for 6 hours. 6 hours of understanding, awakening your intuition. And trust me, it's a lot of fun.
I love that.
I've been doing this now for, I do it twice a year. So this is my first one of 2025. I do have psychic development classes on Zoom and also the mediumship classes. I also do in-person readings out of a beauty salon, which I have a little beautiful room that was created for me. Yeah, it's Sawa's Beauty Salon off of in Clearwater.
That is such a cool thing to have, because you can really treat yourself to an entire day experience.
Oh, yeah.
I love that, because I get my hair done and
facial done. Yeah.
And
you can get your waxing, everything, and then you can get a
reading. I love that. I really love that.
And it's a beautiful space. So, and then I also do privates, obviously, through phone and also on Zoom. And again, everything is under my website, so you can go to the event classes, and you can also see my schedule. And going from there. And
yeah, that's awesome. Well, you guys, please check out Danielle. She's amazing. And I want to have you back on the show later on.
I would love to be back on.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Because, we share a lot of the same ideas, but I would love to talk to you about all kinds of topics. And honestly, I wish we could go longer today, but my voice isn't going to do it.
You need to rest.
But no, I would love to have you back. But everybody, please go follow Danielle, Facebook, Instagram, at The Nice Medium. And then check out her classes on her website, thenicemedium.com. She's amazing. So,
You're so sweet.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for coming on today. I really appreciate it. And I'm so glad that you spent this time with us. So
Well, thank you so much for having me on. It was such a pleasure just to interact with you and just to, talk about what we can talk about freely
I
and
know,
openly.
I know. I mean, so when I have you back, I think I'm gonna run a few topics by you and see what you might be interested in talking about because there's a whole bunch of stuff that we can do. So I love that. Thanks, you guys who were sticking with us through the chat. I appreciate you all. I'm gonna put a couple of links into the chat as well. This is for my radiant energy, my class on the power of auras.
That will be fascinating. I love that.
I've done this class. It used to have a different title. It used to be All the Colors of the Rainbow, and I changed it over to Radiant Energy. But it's really a good class. And I extended it. Originally, it was 90 minutes. And I'm like, I can't do all of this in 90 minutes. So now it's a 3-hour class.
Wow.
So, people really enjoy it. And it's a lot of fun. So I love doing that. So because it all ties in. And I don't even know that people understand that you should be able to understand your chakras, your energy field, the auras in order to practice psychic mediumship.
Yeah. And that's bringing it back to the basics.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then this is the link to my small group gallery. There are 5 tickets left. I actually sold a ticket. So
Yay.
Yay. But if anyone wants that more intimate experience, but you're not ready to kind of schedule a one-on-one, this would be a good option for you. So, and that is coming up March 14th. All right.
Here before we know it.
Huh?
I said it'll be here before we know it.
I know, right? Oh, thanks, Tina. Thank you so much. So, everybody, thank you for being with us today. I will be back next week. And one more big thank you to Danielle for being here with us today. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.